that we can empower our young men and women.
First thing about stopping corruption is yourself. If you're not involved, your wife is not involved, your family is not involved, those around you are not involved, you reduce it by over 50%.
There will be student loan if you cannot finance yourself.
2023 was politics, and politics was 2023. From the general elections down to the off-cycle polls, and of course the inter- and intra-party schemings and wranglings. But the end truly justified the means. APC won at the center and majority at the states and also the National Assembly. But some of these activities need to be reviewed for more productive outings in 2024 and even beyond. I am Mie Ogidi, welcoming you to the last edition of Political Update for the year 2023. And we thank God for making it up to this moment. You are welcome. There is strong indication that the 2024 budget, awaiting legislative passage and presidential assent, would focus on capital projects to improve infrastructure across the country. President Bola Tinubu gave the hint when he received members of the APC National Working Committee at his Lagos residence. Let's hear from Musbao Danwab.
The APC National Working Committee members on a Utah break visit to their presidents and their national leader for years. First meeting between the president and the NWC members since the Supreme Court confirmed his 2023 election victory.
We assure Your Excellency that under your leadership and consent and with the mass-based strategies we have put in place, we will secure all the seats available for the electoral contest, inshallah.
President Tinubu was again appreciative of the effort of his party leaders and members leading to his success at the poll. As he said, his attention is now focused on delivering the promises, which include to improve the nation's economy and infrastructure.
I'm expecting the budget to be out anytime soon. You will see the tilt towards the capital expenditure, and we are working on that.
Equally bothered about the number of out-of-school children in the country, the president suggested drastic measures by governments across levels.
One area to tackle that is building more schools, recruiting more teachers, and providing 1 meal a day for our school children.
And just as he promised continued loyalty for his party, the APC leaders assured him of necessary support to ensure his success in office.
On your mandate we shall stand.
That is a promise coming from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in anticipation of the year coming, that is 2024. And I have two guests with me today in the studio to give some perspective to the policies so far taken by the President and probably peep into the activities in the political scene, especially in the APC. Joining me in the studio is Professor Mike Okupolati, Professor Leadership and Corporate Governance, and also Director, Good Governance and Strategic Planning, APC Initiative for Good Governance, and also the Chairman, Professor's Wing of APC Initiative for Good Governance. You are welcome to Political Update.
Thank you very much.
And also with me in the studio is a youth, Justice Ugwe, a member of the APC and also an activist. You are welcome to Political Update.
Thank you.
But let's start with the professor because we'll be discussing some issues about the budget and the infrastructural promise being made by the president. Oh, Prof, let's hear from you. You just listened to Mr. President. You can't wait for the budget to be signed into law so that we can see, according to him, some massive infrastructural development. So What is your take on that, the president's promise in terms of education and infrastructure?
Thank you very much. And with regards to his promise for infrastructural development in Nigeria, I would like to say that it is just apt. This 2023 has been a year that is preoccupied with a lot of constraints and challenges, both economic and political. So one expects that this first budget of the president will be that we consolidate all the policies of government to ensure that they tackle the major problems that are our challenges in Nigeria. So for him to have said capital budget, which is going to be spent on infrastructure, it means that he is taking the right step, the first step in the right direction. And we'll expect that 2024 will be a better year.
Okay, let me bring in Justice here. You have been at the forefront. I can see some of your activities even before the elections. And now your party is in power. How would you assess the journey so far under the Tinubu presidency at the federal level?
Thank you so much for the question. Well, I'll start by saying President Tinubu has performed well so far. He has stuck to most of his campaign manifestos and promises. We can even see some of the ones that happened today, like the discount on transportation rebates that he gave across the country, and also the economy has been characterized with a lot of stagnation and issues. And we must admit the truth that the president is trying his best to make sure that he drives the economy forward. And he has assembled the best team, the best brain so far to move the country forward. And we are walking toward the right dimension as we speak right now.
Okay, let me take this report, then we'll come to party issues. Political dispensation since the return of democratic rule in 1999 has passed through many phases of the electoral process, with major political platforms turning out events in every 4 years. Now, one of these happenings that shaped the year 2023 is the general election that bettered a new presidency and either returned or saw the election of new governors. In all of these phases of leadership recruitment, the governing APC remained dominant at the national and sub-national levels. So let's join our political correspondent, Abubakar Kwanga, who is ready to take us up to speed with antecedents that occurred during the year 2023.
The student loan.
It was a new dawn for a fresh start of political movement in Nigeria, and the year 2023 was that opportunity many politicians have patiently waited for, because former President Muhammadu Buhari was about serving his second and last term in office. And the APC candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu wrestled the party's ticket with many aspirants jostling for the top seat of the country on a platform of the governing party, but the incumbent president finds favor in delegates. The election comes and goes. A new president is sworn in, but that was not the end, as litigation envelopes his victory by opposition PDP, Labour Party and others, exploring every layer for justice up to the apex court. But this time, the incumbent president's victory was affirmed. The year also saw APC winning and losing some states to opposition political parties in both governorship and parliamentary elections into state and national assemblies, with petitions challenging victories of different parties at various stages of the courts. Within the year, the national chairman and secretary of the ruling APC, Abdullahi Adamu, and Senator Omishore resigned their positions in a controversial circumstance, giving way for the ratification of the appointment of former governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, and Secretary Senator Ajibola Basiru by top organs of the party as their replacements. The latest major political event in the year under review was the off-cycle elections for Bayelsa, Kogi and Imo states, where the party won 2 states and lost 1 to the incumbent governor and PDP candidate in Bayelsa state, while the uprising in Rivers deepened as 26 members defected to the ruling APC alleged to be a plot to impeach the state governor, Sim Fubara. These are some of the events that shaped the year 2023 and changed the political landscape in an unpredictable manner.
Okay, let's bring in Prof. here again. Prof, you just listened to that report, and it's obvious your party, APC, too, had some challenges which are expected, of course. How do you see the elections, the general elections, and then the off-cycle elections, and probably some leadership issues within the APC? What was your take when these events were going on?
Well, with regards to Nigeria and the political tone as at this time, we see it as things that are normal to politics. The beginning of governance by APC was not too smooth in the sense that there was context against the election of Mr. President. And so before the final adoption by the Supreme Court, there were agitations, there were a lot of anxieties, and so the party was not able to sit to work as expected. But after the adoption, you will begin to see that all the steps that have been taken by the party has been steps in the right direction. If you look at some of the policies, because when you are analyzing political or let's say government policies, there are three major things that are important in the analysis. One, you find out what is the government trying to do and why are they trying to do it. And then the third thing is what are the consequences in terms of intended and unintended consequences of their government policies. Now, if you look at what has been done so far, you will see that there are a lot of calculations based on addressing the major problems. Now, this is what it is. A lot of people may be looking that probably not a lot have been done by the party, but I want to let you know that when you are building a house and you are starting with a foundation, a lot of people will not be able to see the beauty of the house that is expected. But once the foundation is in good order and things are beginning to set up on it, at the end, the beauty will come out. So the foundation needs to be put right. And that's exactly what the party is trying to do now, to set up the foundation, to come out with policies that are far-reaching, policies that will address problems and not symptoms. Let me say this here, that in Nigeria, a lot of people look at what is happening to us as if they are problems. They are not problems. They are mere symptoms. And so when you direct government policy at symptoms of what you are seeing, you have a temporary relief. But when they are directed at the cause of the symptoms, which are the problems, then you have a permanent solution to the problem. So what we are doing now is addressing the problems in Nigeria, the real problems, which have been neglected over the years. We are trying to address these problems so that the symptoms can disappear. All the economic difficulties, all the insecurity, all of them will disappear when the problems are tackled. And exactly what the APC government is trying to do now. Okay,
Justice, let me bring you at this point because we are reviewing the year and expectations for next year. And as a party, APC, you people will be going for another round of election in Edo and Ondo State next year. And of course, even February, there are about 35 rerun and by-elections as a result of court litigations. How would you assess your party? Do you think your party made some mistakes that you want them to correct going forward after the 2023 general elections and that of the off-cycle elections? Your advice to the party in terms of mistakes and lessons that they must learn going forward if the party must come as stronger in future elections?
Well, thank you so much. Going by mistakes, I think mistake is predominant in every political party. Like we usually say, nobody is perfect. So we've made some mistakes in the past and we've retraced our steps. Right now, I can tell you that our house is in order. APC right now is in order and we are going towards that dimension that we want to see the positivity into the order of the day. And I can really tell you that the president, which is the pioneer of the affairs of the country and the party in general, has put in a lot of policies and he has done a lot of things to make sure that Nigerians see who they really voted for. And I can tell you that Nigeria, the president inherited a very dead economy. If I'm going to use a term, I'm going to use a literary term called oxymoron, which I will use phrase, a walking dead or living.
But that the economy was handed over to the president by your party.
Yes, it was. But these were things that happened over the past 16 years. It was not just within the last 4 years. That's why I said living dead. The economy was only existing, not living. So now the president came and he's trying to make, adjustment and policies that will usher in the right dimension, because it's a different thing that you are just there living, existing, but you are not really functioning to your maximum capability and capacity. So the president has developed it, and you must understand, I want to also say this, that if you want to assess the president based on facts.
And what are the facts now?
The fact now is that Nigeria right now is experiencing economic depression or hardship. And Nigeria is not the only country that has gone through this process. I want to make some citations, like some great countries that we look up to. You can see China for a case study that is one of the fastest growing economy in the world. China went through this period of economic hardship during the economic revolution that happened in 1966, during the tenure of Chairman Mao Zedong. And around the late 1970s, it ushered in the period of economic rebirth, which was under the tenure of President Deng Xiaoping. So now, and even USA here, that is, we are very used to the Western world. During the period of President Herbert Hoover of 1929, the USA experienced economic hardship. And they put in policies that were able to usher in economic rebirth during the period of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. So these are the things that we must understand, that as a country, you are going to experience difficulties sometimes, and the ability to navigate through that difficult period and come out positive is what makes you an exceptional leader, and that is what the president has demonstrated so far.
Okay, thank you very much. That is quite interesting, because there was a time the president said it's like a woman bearing a child. When the delivery process is always painful, but when you hear the cry of a child, it comes with some level of excitement, and probably that is what you're also telling us, and Nigerians are taking you and your party for that. Let me bring in Prof here. You are the professor of chairman, professor's wing of APC, Initiative for Good Governance. What contributions this your body is doing, because a committee of professors, much is expected. So what contribution you and your members are bringing to the table to assist the president realize some of his goals that he has set already? Because I'm aware that you people have about 19 books already. So what are some of those things people are bringing to the table?
Yes, thank you very much. Let me just give you a brief about APC Initiative for Good Governance. During the Tinubu-Shettima ticket, this group was charged with the responsibility of supporting the ticket to ensure that they win the election. And the APC Initiative for Good Governance based its support on the fact that we believe in the personality of the people that have been put forward by APC. Let me say this. The success of any leader in position is a function of two factors. One, the ability of the leader to perform. And secondly, character, his willingness to perform. Now, when you look at these two factors required, we believe that Tinubu and Shettima have the embodiment of these two traits, and we therefore believe in the renewed hope that it will be better for Nigeria. And that was why the APC Initiative for Good Governance sat and supported. Now, after they have won the election, we regrouped again among ourselves. We came out with about 18 professors, of which I am the chairman of the Professors Forum under the APC Initiative for Good Governance, and being coordinated by Ambassador Musa Mohammed Tokin. And we work with His Excellency, Senator George Akume, who is our leader. We work with him. What are we trying to do? We have sat down as professors in different disciplines. We have professor of leadership, agriculture, health, and so on. We picked all the 8 areas of agenda of the president. And we did a lot of research to find out what are the current challenges in this area and what are the way forward. So we looked into them, and we are coming out with a manual that we tagged APC, we tagged a pathway to economic sustainability in Nigeria, and going to be a manual for APC government. Let
me just in 1 second, 30 seconds, tell us, Nigerians are interested in the solution. So for instance, the economic situation is the major challenge for now. So from your findings, for instance, what is the major issue? If, for instance, you will meet the president one-on-one today, and you have just maybe 30 seconds to tell him, advise him on economic issues, what will you tell the president?
Bishop, thank you. What we have seen is that the major thing for the government to do to bring down or to reduce the economic hardship is policy that will improve production in Nigeria.
What would that policy be?
That should be a fiscal policy that will, for example, encourage small, medium, and medium enterprises to grow, and policies that will enable individuals to increase their productivity. This is the problem. If production increases and there are goods and services, you will see that even the value of our naira will come down, and also you will see the prices of commodity will also come down. Presently, what we are having is a situation where we are importing more than we are exporting, and we are also consuming more than we are producing. So we need government to come out with policy. And this policy is what we are bringing out in the book that is to be launched very soon.
Okay, thank you, Prof. I think you are really a prof. When you talk, you take all the time, but that is good, because you are really giving us an insight to some issues. Let me bring in Justice here. Justice, after campaigns, appointments, that is one other issue. How would you assess the president so far in terms of appointments as we are rounding off the year 2023?
Thank you. The president has done so far. He has done well so far, and if you check all the officials appointed, you will see that they are the right people for the job. He took out his time to assemble the best brain, and this is what he has, skills for. He has been known for years. He is always known for appointing the right people into the right positions, and they are doing very well. There's nobody you can pick out from the officials that are appointed. They are all putting their all hands together to make sure the two things way to foster economic growth and stability.
Okay, thank you, Justice. Before we close finally, on a lighter note, I guess you are from Delta State.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you supported Omar Agege very well because you were so vibrant on the social media. And after the elections, you were not too happy because the APC didn't win in that state, Delta State. So what are you what will you advise your party as they are going for Ondo and Edo State? Is there any lesson from Delta that you want to give to your party so that the mistakes of Delta will not repeat itself in Ondo and Edo States?
Well, being a youth that was actively involved in the past election, was down to campaigns, venues and itineraries, I can tell you that one of the things I observed was the party not being able to carry along the followers. There was a lot of incessant complaints. People were left out.
Okay.
APC is strongly rooted in Delta States and across the federation, but if only we can try to carry our followers along, communicate with them what's happening, because everyone wants to know what's the updates. I believe we can be able to win any states.
Thank you very much. I think that is a great lesson for APC as they are going for the Edo and Ondo elections. Prof, just 1 second, your shout out to Nigerians as we count down to the new year.
Thank you very much. I'm just saying that Nigerians should be a little bit patient with the current government and expect that there will be a better thing in 2024. Based on what we are doing currently, we have been able to articulate solutions to most of the economic problems we have in Nigeria. And by the time the president, I see him as someone who is ready and is passionate, is passionable. Has a lot of passion for delivering the dividend of democracy.
Thank you, Prof. I think
perform.
my director is trying to blow my ears. Time is up. So that is much we can take on the last edition of Political Update for the year 2023. Hope to see you again on Tuesday. Then we'll start addressing ourselves as the year 2024. And we pray that all of us will cross over to 2024 as God has brought us this far. My name is Mia Ogidi. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend rest.